Do you have copies? Yes. Council members? Yes. Okay, so I'm not going to read the communique, I'm not going to speak to its contents. And the 28th meeting of the Council of Works with the theme Infrastructure, the season of completion, held in Kano State at Crystal Palace Hotel in Kano from the Monday 22nd to Thursday 25th of August. The Council purpose was to assemble stakeholders from the 36 states who are responsible for managing infrastructure on the road sector across the country, bridge works. The Council reviewed 49 memoranda by 24 stakeholders, and in the final analysis, 23 of them were stepped down because they were not meant for Council, they were meant for other organs of government to consider. The attendance of the Council is listed in paragraph 4 of pages 2, right through to page 3. The open remarks at the plenary was delivered by the host commissioner, the Honorable Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure Development in Kano State, Engineer Idris Wada Saleh, MNSC, and we used the opportunity to highlight the massive developments that were being undertaken in the Kano road infrastructure sector and the impact that was delivering towards the growth of Kano's economy and the prosperity of our people. The chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Works, Honorable Abubakar, also spoke, expressing gratitude and offering commendations to President Muhammadu Buhari for fulfilling his promise to improve Nigeria's road infrastructure, commended the innovations and interventions like the Sukuk, the Highway Development Management Initiative, and the tax credit policies, which have helped to impact the provision of infrastructure. Yours truly, Honorable Minister, Works and Housing and Chairman of the Council, of course, just rendered a report of the challenges that were inherited in 2015, layoff of construction workers due to absence of funding, and highlighted the different funding interventions to go Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, collaboration with agencies of government like the Northeast Development Commission and the Tax Credit Initiative, and how that has helped to create over 300,000 jobs in the construction sector by the federal government, and the impact of that also in other sectors like mining, petroleum, bitumen, diesel supply, and the jobs in the related sectors of the economy. Of course, there were challenges which include the incursion into the right of way on federal highways, which is 47.5 meters on both sides of the center line, which has been encroached. Those encroachments have to give way in order for road construction to go on. And the federal government has resolved not to pay compensation on its own right of way, irrespective of who has encroached. Other challenges for consideration include how to protect the road by enforcing existing axle load regulations through the installation of way bridges. And His Excellency, our Chief Host, the special guest of honor, Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduji OFR, also reiterated the need to enforce these regulations and to expand the rail project in order to bring relief to our roads and to extend their life cycle of service. He highlighted projects being undertaken by the Kano State government, the Tijani Hashim Galadima Kano underpass at Kofa and the Dantata flyover along Murtala Mohammed, and the Sheikh Karibala Nasir Karbala flyover. The governor expressed appreciation to the President Muhammad Buhari, the Ministry of Works for the provision of various federal government interventions across Kano and other parts of Nigeria, and pledged Kano's support by resolving right-of-way and compensation issues as a model of example of what states should do to collaborate with the federal government for service delivery to the people. The governor spoke further on the cost and expand their lifespan. In the plenary, Council deliberated on the key recommendations of the technical report and adopted some of the recommendations as follows. One, the recommendation to encourage all state and federal agencies involved in roads and related construction to issue notice to telecom service and other utility providers to file notice of their intent to lay these utilities before road is constructed, not later than the last quarter of the year preceding when the project is going to be executed. And Council adopted this resolution and urged all states to issue such notices before the end of this year with a plan to give effect to this decision starting from next year. Council also encouraged the review and update of existing guidelines for grant of access for right-of-way. Council encouraged states and local governments to adopt or modify the national tolling policy or initiate their own in their respective states and issue statements with regard to them as a way of encouraging investment in road infrastructure funding. Council also encouraged states that have not set up their state maintenance agencies to do so, and also encourage road contractors to procure standard road signs from the Federal Road Safety Commission's signage plans, agencies, and other producers who meet the standards. Council urged members to promote the policy review mechanism and the inclusion of private sector in the management of road infrastructure development to reduce the financial burden and create jobs in order to boost economic opportunity. Council advocated for the review of the National Procurement Law enacted 15 years ago for the procurement law to be reviewed to bring them in conformity with recent policy objectives of local content and indigenous participation, particularly by reviewing the eligibility criteria and the threshold for local and indigenous companies in order to grant access into the industry. Council also approved that relevant government road agencies should review and adopt from 50 kilometers down to 30 kilometers speed limit in urban and built-up areas, and construction zones in order to capture heavy-duty trucks in line with United Nations second decade of action to improve safety of lives on our road. Council approved that all relevant federal and state ministries, departments, and agencies should develop maintenance service levels linked to performance indicators that will be monitored throughout the lifespan of the asset, which will engender greater visibility, accountability, and optimal utilization of funds. Council approved that government must lead the provision of basic infrastructure as a social service to drive economic activities, productivity by the private sector, and where possible, enunciate policy that will facilitate private sector participation. The meeting of the council also resolved that a virtual meeting will be held by all council members on previous resolutions of council in order to track implementation and performance before the end of October 2022, and a notice to that effect will be issued from the Secretariat of Council. Let me now invite the members of the Council to consider and volunteer for who will be the next host before I invite the Minister of State to give the vote of thanks. Do we have any volunteers to host the next council meeting? Bauchi has hosted, Kano has hosted. Edo is lifting up. Okay. Edo to host. Those in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Honourable Minister of State, over to you.
Minister of State was announced. Honourable Mari Brahmani was to take the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
I was realizing about the ammunition damages. Your Excellency, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Honorable Member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Commissioner of Kano State Works and Housing, Honorable Commissioners here present, Directors of the Ministry of Works and Housing, Deputy Directors, other colleagues from the Ministry of Works and Housing, the Secretariat, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm most honored and delighted to give the vote of thanks as we come to the close of this very eventful and stimulating 28th edition of the National Council on Works, following an intense week of discussions and debates which has comprehensively dissected the issue germane to this year's chosen theme, aptly titled Infrastructure, the Season of Completion. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, Management and staff of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, I express my profound gratitude now to His Excellency through the Honorable Commissioner, since he is not here, and the good people of Kano State for hosting this 28th edition of the Council. We are grateful for their willingness to take on the responsibility of hosting us, for the warm hospitality extended to all the delegates to the National Council, and for the excellent facilities put at our disposal to ensure that the proceedings were most effectively and efficiently carried out. Distinguished delegates, the role of road infrastructure in an evolving economy like Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. The theme of this year's National Council was carefully chosen with a view to setting up new economic trends that would fast-track economic growth and prosperity in our country. It was also a recognition of the fact that good road infrastructure is a strategic national asset imperative for guaranteeing the well-being and productivity of the citizenry, and for providing an important platform for job creation, productivity, and national connectivity. In this regard, I'm delighted to see that our gathering here this week has accorded various practitioners and sector stakeholders in the industry the privilege of collectively discussing, reviewing, and consolidating all the hard work, accomplishments, and successes that have been achieved as we now gradually inch into the last stages of the action-driven and highly successful President Muhammadu Buhari administration. It is my belief that the recommendations made at this meeting will reinforce our resolve to complete and deliver more infrastructure that will not only have far-reaching impact on the socio-economic well-being of the citizenry, but also generate employment and stimulate growth. I wish in particular to extend sincere appreciation to the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunji Tunde Raji Fashola, SAN, who provided the direction and gave maximum support for this event. He has piloted the ministry's ship to record remarkable achievements, and we are grateful to him for the sense of purpose, relentless dedication, and indeed zealous commitment to the mandate of this ministry in the work sector. Permit me to extend my appreciation to the Permanent Secretary, Bashir Nur Al-Ali, for his immense support and cooperation at all times. To our parastatals, FEMA, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Federal Housing Authority, and under the leadership of their chief executives and frontline representatives of other ministries present here with us in Kano. I also say thank you to all. I also wish to express deep gratitude to delegates from the states, regulatory and the professional bodies, participants, stakeholders, staff of the Ministry of Works and Housing, the state commissioners, of course, and their permanent secretaries here present, and indeed all stakeholders present who are operating in the work sector. To our good friends, the media, who have always been there for us and have been reporting on all the achievements of the Ministry of Works and Housing and its parastatals, we say a big thank you to you. We appreciate your partnership. You have indeed exemplified notably interesting issues pertaining to the road infrastructure and construction sector, and I trust all that your presence here will translate to wider dissemination of the key messages of this year's Council. In conclusion, let me recognize and appreciate all the members of the planning committee of this event at the federal and local levels, and salute their collective dedication and devotion. May God reward you abundantly or appropriately. And to all others not mentioned, and those working so hard behind the scene to ensure the success of this meeting, you are all recognized and appreciated. At this juncture, I wish all of us journey mercies back to our respective destination. Thank you very much.
So, To Edu.
The national anthem, please. ICT, are you ready for us? ICT national anthem, please. Thank you. ICT, are you ready? Can we see? Thank you very much, Your Excellencies, the ministers, the council members, the president, Solicitor General, the MP of Fairhaven, the Commissioner for Kano State, very distinguished honorable commissioners. Thank you and congratulations.